And finally, new rule at the top levels of our federal government: giving a guy a job because he got screwed over for another job isn't a good reason to give a guy a job, especially if the job is Attorney General, and especially if it's during a time when we need a tough AG to catch a real criminal. Merrick Garland Merrick Garland, who is that Attorney General I speak of, and who, spoiler alert, sucks, was, you may recall, President Obama's pick for the Supreme Court in 2016 after the Clintons murdered Justice Scalia with a pillow. And while our government dysfunction continues to grow, one thing remained sacrosanct. When a Supreme Court justice dies, the president gets to fill the seat. Until Mitch McConnell said, "Fuck that, new rule, fuck you." Garland never even got a hearing. So when Biden got elected, the Democrats said, "Hey, wouldn't it be funny, as payback, if we gave Garland the Attorney General job?" And that's how we got Attorney General Barney Fife. A man who epitomizes the strange stupor that comes over Democrats whenever they have to choose a top lawman. They worry so much about appearing nonpartisan, they get behind someone who lets actual crimes go unpunished. 5 years ago in this space, I was tearing Robert Mueller a new one. Remember him, the straight-arrow Republican all the Democrats thought would hold Trump accountable for colluding with Russia? But with Mueller, as with Garland now, when we needed a pit bull, we got a purse dog. It's so interesting. When it comes time for Republicans to appoint a special prosecutor, they always appoint a Republican. And when it comes time for Democrats to appoint one, they also appoint a Republican. A Democrat hasn't served as a special prosecutor in a major investigation since Watergate. Somehow the rule became it has to be a Republican or it's not fair. You know, a Dudley Do-Right type, like Mueller, or James Comey. Remember him? A Boy Scout, they said. Yeah, he was a Boy Scout, all right. He gave me a knot in the stomach. Because he threw the presidency to Trump by making a big announcement 11 days before the election that he was reopening the case into Hillary's emails, and then found nothing. But the FBI was also investigating the Trump campaign's constant contacts with Russian nationals at the same time, over 140 of them. But that he kept secret. Weird, huh? Trump whines he's the victim of selective prosecution. The truth is, he's the beneficiary of selective non-prosecution. Take the case that's going on in New York right now. We call it a hush money trial, but really it's an election interference case. And Trump is clearly complicit in breaking the same laws that Michael Cohen pled guilty to and served prison time for. So tell me, how can the fixer who delivers the hush money be guilty of election interference, but the candidate who orders it, pays it, conceals it, and benefits from it not be? Charles Manson didn't personally go on the killing spree, but he went to prison for it. El Chapo didn't have the drugs in his ass. Michael Corleone had somebody else shoot Mo Green. I'm just saying the problem... The problem with this case isn't that Trump isn't guilty, it's that it's being tried in the wrong court. If Garland had done his job, Trump would be in federal court charged with breaking campaign finance laws instead of state court charged with falsifying business records. And then there's the case of the stolen files in Trump's bathroom. Crapper's delight. 4 months after Trump left office, the National Archives began asking him to return the documents he illegally took with him, and after being ignored for 9 months, they passed the case off to Garland, who should have sent the FBI to Mar-a-Lago the next day, but didn't for another 6 months. Joe Biden also had documents at his private residence. But again, by bending over backwards to be fair to the Republican, the Democrat got fucked. Garland chose again with this, Trump-appointed Republican as special counsel for Joe Biden, as he did later for Hunter Biden. And the upshot in the Files cases was to make it look like Biden and Trump were equally guilty, which was not true. Biden returned the documents immediately and cooperated fully. So why the need to appoint a special counsel at all? Oh, yes, optics. But of course, the optics wound up being that while Biden was totally exonerated, the Republican counsel took the opportunity to say that the reason Biden wasn't guilty was that he was too much of a senile, feeble, confused shell of a former man who poops his pants and can't remember his kids' names. With Biden, Garland appointed a special prosecutor instantly. With Trump, it took 20 months. 20 months. I know liberals love drag, but maybe don't do it with the justice system. And now, with the most serious of the Trump trials, the one involving his illegal schemes to remain in office, it's happening again. 59% of Americans, including 26% of Republicans, say they want a verdict on this case before the election. But it's doubtful they'll get one, because for nearly 2 years, our slow jam attorney Genial looked at the statue of Lady Justice and thought, I want to be like her, incapable of moving. Merrick Garland is just so slow. He's like if the 405 was a person. He's the embodiment of the liberal judge in every 70s cop movie, the one who always lets the psychopath out on a technicality, and then the psychopath rapes a nursing school and Clint Eastwood has to kill him with a bazooka. But at least the optics were good.